Hey everybody, it's Deanna with toolsofenergyprotection.com, your energy shift expert. I am so excited to see everybody tonight. How are you doing? We're almost to the end of January. Can you believe it? So tonight, I'd like to talk about a subject that's been coming up over the last 2 weeks again and again in so many of the sessions that I've been having. So since January 1st, many people have been coming to me that say, hey, you know what, I'm spiritually gifted and I'm awake. What do I do? Or, hey, you know, I feel like I absorb other people's energy all the time and I really don't want to. What's that about? And I also have people come to me and say, I know things and I'm not sure how I know things, but it's really bothering me because I just want to turn it off. So if that's you, then this is for you tonight. If that's not you, then, you can listen anyway. But that's what I wanted to address tonight. So the first thing that I think is the most important to talk about is, how do you know if you're spiritually gifted? So what does that mean to be spiritually gifted? We all have sixth senses, or senses outside of the normal sense. So you have two eyes, you have a nose, you have taste, you have hearing, and you have touch. And those are the normal senses that pretty much everybody has. Outside of that is called extrasensory perception. So outside of sight, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching, there's another perception that comes from your amygdala. That's a little tiny pea-looking like thing, or I guess it actually looks like an almond inside of your head. You can look it up, amygdala. And that is said to be the seat of God's Spirit or Source's connection with each one of us. And it's how we tune in. It's how we're connected. So some of us are born having the ability to use that sense, and it's just automatically loaded into us like a computer. If you get a computer, it comes with some programs already on it, or a phone. Programs, usually games, already on it. And that's how some people come into this planet, into this life, because God gave them an additional spiritual gift. I often like to describe it as little antennae on top of your head. So it's like, I've watched videos where bees are all in a hive and you see their little heinies, bzzz, making a sound. And then when they go out and they approach each other, they'll use their antenna to touch each other, and that's their method or their mode of communication. So we are much the same way, only we don't have the antenna on top of our head. So some people that are spiritually gifted will be born with the gift of sight, of clear knowing, of knowing things that other people don't know, which can be confusing growing up as a kid, because your perspective is everybody else should know what I know, and they don't. So it's a little confusing. Also, we have the gift of prophecy, or being able to foretell things that are coming, or things coming up either in the world scene or, just in our own lives. And then there's also some other gifts available as well, but those are just a couple to give you an idea. And when you're born with these gifts, God's Spirit or Source expects you to not only know what they are, but to develop them as a talent. So I have a lot of clients coming to me saying they hear other spirits talking to them and they just want to shut it down. I don't blame you. When I first started and they started talking to me, it's like they wouldn't shut up. It'd be 3 o'clock in the morning and they'd be bup, right? So eventually I learned how to draw boundaries, my own spiritual boundaries, and when I allow beings to talk to me and when I don't. And you too can develop your senses so that they're not too overstimulating. Can I get a thumbs up for those people that find that these senses are overstimulating and they can't stand it and they just want them to go away? Oh good, I got a few hearts. Well, they're not going to go away. You have been given a gift by the divine creator source of all. So it is not going to go away. You can't turn it off. You can suppress it for a while, but it'll pop back out because that's who you are. So step 1 is to accept yourself for who you are. And step 2 is to find ways to develop those gifts so that they're not, so hurty inside, so that they're an attribute, right? And not something that hurts. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the definitions of those gifts. So if you have any questions, please put them down here in the feed, and I will make sure that the feed keeps going so that if you have any questions, that we can address those. Before I get to that, I would like to tell you that this coming up Thursday and this coming up Friday, I will be at the For Heaven's Sakes books in Denver, Colorado. Normally, when I do these lives, I'll tell you to go on my appointment book and click and use this code, but the discount this week is going to be twofold. One, on Friday at For Heaven's Sakes, 303-964-9339 during 10 to 7, I believe, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Call and get on my books. I don't have access to those books, so give them a call. And the reason for that is if you call on Thursday, that's a normal day, that's the normal pricing. But if you call on Thursday and book yourself, and once we get on the phone or you come into the store and you tell me you saw this video, I will give you a 10% discount on your session. Okay? And then on Friday, it's the normal discount pricing for the fair, so it doesn't need an additional discount. Anyway, so are there any questions? Oh, I must be doing okay. Nobody's asking asking any questions about their spiritual gifts. Okay, well, I'm not gifted when it comes to technology because I needed that laugh. I don't know about you. All right. So my background is Judeo-Christian. And so I came into this world with clear knowing. I knew things that other people didn't know, even as a small child. I would walk up to adults and I would tell them, hey, you've got this issue, why don't you quit? Out of the mouth of babes, because I was probably about 6, 7, 8 years old. And I quickly learned to keep my mouth shut because people didn't want to hear what their problems were. I get that now. I also had the ability to see things happening in the future, usually the immediate future, like for example, I might get an indication that something is coming up and I need to take care of it. And if I think, oh, no, it's coming later and I ignore it, then sure enough, it was coming up. So those are just a few things that happen for me. I don't know what's happening for you, but if you have that extra sense coming through, that's how it might look. But in the Judeo-Christian tradition, they often use the Bible as the source of knowledge for God to be able to communicate to us in written form. And so for years, I thought I was unusual. I thought I was odd. I tried to talk to the ministers about my spiritual gifts. They poo-pooed on them. They told me it was of the devil. They told me I needed to repent, and they told me I needed to fast, and I needed to pray. And I did all of those things. And my gifts got stronger. So imagine how scary that was, that I was doing what I was told by my ministry and my gifts got stronger. So, I'm thinking, wow, devil's really, working with me. Turns out that's not true. It turns out that my gifts were all along listed in the canonized version of the Bible, just waiting for me to find them. And I finally did when I was in college. And I learned that it wasn't just me, but a beautiful divine gift. So if you have access to a Bible, or if you want to look it up on the internet, look up 1 Corinthians 12, because it talks about the gifts of the Spirit. And I printed out myself a little copy here. And it says, concerning the gifts of the Spirit, I would not have you ignorant. So God's spiritual source wants you to know about these gifts. They're not to be hidden. They're not to be put away. They're not to be told that they're of the devil when they're really not, because God gives us different people with different talents to be like white blood cells and help others. That's what empaths are. We were born to be the white blood cells for other people, to heal, to help them to heal, but not to absorb their negative energy. Can I get a thumbs up for how many of you are watching out there? And if you're watching this later on recording on YouTube, just pretend you gave a thumbs up. For those of you that absorb other people's energy and anxiety, and you have your own anxiety and you walk around all the time. Ooh, I got a heart. Ooh, I got some thumbs up. Yay, okay, so I'm on the right page. Well, do you think that the creator source of all would give you a gift to walk as a miserable individual on this planet? I don't think so. So that's one of the reasons I'm talking about this tonight, is to help you know that you're not nuts, that you are gifted. Oh, I got a lot of thumbs up and hearts. Oh, thank you so much. Look at that. Heart after heart, thumb after thumb. Okay. But it says here, and again, this is back to 1 Corinthians 12. If you're not a Bible person, don't worry about it. If you are, this is fantastic information. But it says in 1 Corinthians 12, verse 3, I give you to understand that no man speaking by the Spirit of God calleth Jesus cursed, right? And no man say that Jesus is Lord but by the Holy Spirit. So that's how you know if you're really oriented. You know, I have people ask me, Deanna, how do you know that just demons are not talking to you? You know, how do you know that it's angels or guides or God himself? And that's because when these spirits come, if they make me feel uneasy, if they make my tummy feel uneasy, if I'm afraid, then, you know, I can ask them who sent them. Who are they a messenger for? And there's a universal law that requires them to answer that question for you. They are not allowed to lie. I don't know why it's a universal law. I don't know why gravity is a universal law, but I know it works. Okay? And then once you get past that and you look down in that same area of the Bible, it says that there's different operations, there's different offices according to what God's Spirit or Source gives us to profit everybody, to help everybody. That's how you know you're the white blood cells, okay? One is given the Spirit, by Spirit, the word of wisdom. To another, knowledge, that's the gift of knowing. To another, faith. Some people walk purely on faith. And sometimes you need to have that gift of faith. I know I've been walking on faith lately. Another one is the gifts of healing by the same Spirit. So the gift of healing. So if you have the ability to reach into people's energy fields and pull out negative energy. If you have the ability to bring energy out of your hands and shift the bioelectromagnetic field for other people. All of those. Another one is working miracles. Another's prophesying, discerning of spirits. You know, if you're a medium, you better know who you're talking to, right? You know, we're talking to the darker side of things. And then there's the interpretation and the talking of tongues. But it says, you know, that everybody works with God's Spirit or Source, but each person according to his own ability and according to the will of God's Spirit or Source. So that's it. It's right there. And it's been there all along. And my desired outcome is that I can illuminate somebody's world who's been wondering if, you know, they're a little daft. Because there it is. Oh, I'm getting a lot of hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you're still uncertain, I know I talked to a lady today. She said, I'm empathic. But my problem is I absorb other people's negative energy. And if that is your issue, I'm going to ask you to make a short session with me and let's talk about it and get you started. Because what you're going to find out is as a highly sensitive person or an empath, and with all these extra abilities, nobody ever taught you to use them. Nobody taught you how to defend yourself. And you've probably been hammered and hammered and hammered and hammered. Because generally speaking, most psychopaths, sociopaths, and narcissists want to drain some other human's energy vampires, if you will. And they will seek you out because you're an empath and you're open And you're like, oh, I'll just feed you full of energy and nurture you, and eventually you'll heal, because that's what you think. And the answer is no. They have a dis-ease that requires help, and you cannot give them that help. And if you try, it will drain you. I know this firsthand 3 times, and you don't want to be drained. You cannot be an effective white blood cell and serve many if you only let one person drain you constantly. So you've got to learn to put up boundaries. And the only way you're going to learn how to put up boundaries is by self-love and getting started and getting some traction. And that's what I've been helping a lot of folks do, is get some understanding, get some traction to move forward so they can get rid of those energy vampires in their life, stop absorbing other people's crap, and move on. Move on and become an aspect of the creator source of all. Whether you go public like I do and you serve people, or whether you just work at a grocery store and smile at everybody that comes in. Usually people that are spiritually gifted are in service industry type jobs. So if that is you and you're ready to be protected and not have dark circles, not come home and isolate, day after day after day, and not feel like you really hate people and love people and can't understand why you have the 2 dynamic opposites, then let's get together. If you're not available this Thursday or Friday, go to toolsofenergyprotection.com, click on appointments, scroll down, and it says, I think it either says buy now or book now. It says book now. And you can find a time. If you can't find a time, send me an email. But let's get together, get you turned around, because not only that, but a little bit of an insight to the energy shift updates that I've been doing. Where we are in time and space now, so many people are being picked up, just like a giant magnet of spiritual people being drawn up to the next level of consciousness, and they're scrambling and they're trying to figure out how. So if you know that person, go ahead and share this video and give them a head start. I would really appreciate that, and so will they. I still do energy shift updates. If you have to go to my website and click on services, and there's a link to the energy shift updates. I have them now on Vimeo and Roku, and you just click subscribe. I will talk to you about what the updates are. I usually get them out on Monday, so you have them for the whole week. You're going to know what's happening, what energies are coming, what to look out for, what foods to eat or not eat, what essential oils to use, and perhaps what stone to use. So that's what's happening. It's a lot more meat than it used to be. But, you got to give a little to get a little. And if you can't find that, let me know. But that's it. I don't see any questions. I just see a lot of people nodding their head and agreeing with what's going on. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I look forward to seeing you soon. Again, I'll be at Denver Bookstore on Thursday and Friday. If you tell me you saw this video, I will give you a 10% discount on your session. Friday is automatically discounted sessions. And I just want to get everybody in as quickly as possible. If you can believe it or not, tomorrow I am already booked. I was going to offer times tomorrow as well, but it's already filled. So I know Thursday there's about 4 slots left, and Friday I think there's a couple. So make sure you call 303-964-9339 and get on so we can get you turned around. I love you a bunches. I'm getting a bunch of hearts. Thank you so much, and have a fantastic night.